So welcome to the Node.js Community NAPI team meeting for October 7th, 2019. I'm going to share the milestone, which is what we normally go through. If I can find that, hold on. No, I'm gonna have to find it again. Let's close that. Maybe I closed it. Okay, I will reopen it. Okay, issues. Sorry, went to the wrong repo. Okay, now let's try sharing again. Is it going to give me the right one? There we go. Okay. So go through our standard agendas. Before we do that, does anybody have any announcements or other things they'd like to share today?
Nothing here.
No? Okay.
I'm good.
Gabriel's trying to get in again.
Oh, okay.
No need to promote. No need to promote.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's fine. That's fine as just the regular attendee. Although
Okay.
it doesn't seem to be working well. It keeps saying connecting.
Okay.
So I'll just look at the phone screen.
Okay. Just let me know if you need me to do anything.
Okay, no worries. Thanks.
Okay, so the first one is building add-ons with CMake. I think last time Jim had taken the action to check what the behavior was if you tried to use it and you didn't have the executable.
Right.
And posted that info. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Michael. And
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I keep interrupting.
No, I'm interrupting you, so yes.
Okay, yes, so you get a meaningful message that tells you need to install it. And then I've also updated the CMake, our CMake documentation. I've got a PR out there giving a quick start on how to use the CMake.
Is that this one or a different one? No, that's a different one, obviously.
Let's go back to the issue. It's linked there. It's at the bottom of this issue.
Ah, yes. Okay. Right. That makes sense.
So I've got comments from Nicola, and if you guys have other comments, let me know. But I'll land that as soon as we can.
Sounds good.
And I think that's everything. I can't imagine that there's anything else outstanding.
Okay.
It looks like the original poster, the guy who filed the original issue back in February, it looks like he was successful in adopting CMake for his project.
Right. Okay, that's good. Yeah, because this one's closed out. Let's see the.
Yeah.
He used CMake and pre-build.
Correct.
Because,
yeah.
Because the problem is not only the building, but is the delivery of the binary at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, CMake and pre-build working good together.
For me, projects moving forward for me, this is the tool chain I'm using.
Okay, good to know.
And maybe this could be a suggestion for end user.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an expert, but maybe if someone suggests me using pre-build instead of other tools because it works better than others, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we can do this. Maybe we can talk of this in our workshop, for example, or maybe we can I don't know.
I thought last week talked about adding some more info to the core Node core documentation,
Oh,
right? As an
that's
example.
right.
But
That's
I didn't
right.
necessarily create an issue for that, which maybe I should have.
Yeah. I mean, is this what we want to promote?
I think, like, I there's still some discussion of like what's the next build system for Node itself, Node Core.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see what falls out there before we get too strong.
Okay.
But I think at this point, I think a good first step would be to say, these are your two options.
Okay. Yes.
And promote it to the level so that at least people are aware that there's an option. There's potentially this one, the only drawback is really that you would have to make sure that they have CMake installed, right?
Right. Exactly.
But I think it's good to be able to say there's these two options, there's some pluses, there's some minuses to each of them, and that's a good starting point. And then once, for example, if Node adopts CMake as its core thing, then you might say, okay, and the preferred one is now CMake as well for the modules, or you might say there's a third one. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Would it make sense to make some of the examples as CMake? Like some of the examples that we have on our examples repo?
Yeah.
Yes. I think at least one.
Yeah.
You did add one, right?
We do have an example focused specifically on creating an add-on using CMake. It's kind of a decision you make for the package. You're either going to use JIP or you're going to use CMake. Anyway, there is an example out there, but moving forward, we might do new examples based on CMake.
Just to have a mix of.
Yeah.
Although, I wonder if having them some one way, some the other way is potentially confusing, but.
Could be.
Do we have any statistics on what's mainly used in the real world, whether it's CMake or Node.js for currently?
The currently Node.js is very useful, and you can see the download statistics on npm about CMake, because CMake is an external module, so you need to install as global if you want, or maybe as your development module. And the number of downloads I can check now.
I think is this the right page?
Okay. Yeah. But if you see at download of Node.js is massive. We are talking about 1 million of downloads.
Yeah. And doesn't it come built in with Node
4.5 million.
Yeah.
So for sure, Node.js is used because it's the default option provided directly by Node. So, but we have these other options, and I think that is the only alternative now. If we for the native add-on.
Right. Okay. I mean, I think that's like looking at this. It really says to me it should be like, here's another option, but it's not a.
Right.
Node.js is still the preferred option, right? So maybe leaving the examples as mostly Node.js, and here, if you want to use CMake.js, here's the one you can use. Right? Makes sense.
Michael, you had mentioned listing pros and cons for each. Do we want to do that? I can definitely do that. I just don't want to start holy wars.
No, but I mean, if they're truly pros and cons, I don't think it should be, like the CMake, having to install CMake natively is a con. What would like some of the JIP cons be?
Well, it's dead. It's
dead. Okay.
It's on life support essentially.
Right. Yeah. JIP is no longer supported by. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. So like basically saying, it's no longer supported by by Google, and you know the project is discussing what we should be doing going forward is a reasonable one, right? Like, because there's some risk there, and so I think as long as it's sort of like it stays away, you know, and I'm sure you will, the text stays away from being like, this is just crap, right? It's just like, well, here, you know, this is a risk because of blah, blah, blah. So that's one concern versus the other one where you have to install. And actually, we should probably call out that CMake is not as used, you know, has not been as broadly used as the other ones.
Yeah. Okay. So Michael, if you link on this issue where this documentation needs to go, I will work on that.
So let me just see if I can do that this second. So I think, API docs.
I think that we have documentation about Node.js in Node Core under the add-on section, not in the NAPI.
Right. So I think that was
there is a building section. I remember. I remember this.
Right. Building. Where is it? Oh, building. There we go. So can I copy that? Yeah. Okay. I can copy that link. Add to there. Now it would probably just be. It won't be this latest thing, but that. You know,
yeah.
Okay. And I will assign it to you.
Okay. Great.
Okay, Jim. And I think we thought that like it was also maybe also talk about pre-build, etc.
Yes. Yeah.
Like if it's not already in there, so you might need to read the rest of the docs around that. But if it's not already in there, you know, basically saying that you can either compile dynamically or pre-build, and here's some of the common tools. I think that would be helpful information.
Yeah, definitely. And then do you want to put that on our milestone?
Yes, I do. Sorry, there we go. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks for taking that one. And right. Okay, so what should go into NEP5? I don't know if it's worth clicking through. I know, Gabriel, you're sort of, that's just tracking PRs as they land. Anything to add or discuss on that one?
It's done as far as I can tell.
Done?
So it's
okay.
Yes, it's there in 12, it's there in 10. So, and it's not going to be there in 8 anymore. So we've done everything that we can. As far as we can tell, NAPI 5 is as well disseminated as it will ever be.
Okay, and that was in there's been a release of 10 with that in it?
I don't know, but the PRs have been accepted. So it's in staging at least.
Yeah, I think that's probably because I think
I can check again.
I think that if it's all backported, we can merge the forecast that introduce the date on the API.
Right.
Well, I think that one GitHub. So let's see, GitHub.
Though they're not on 8, right? So and Node add-on API supports 8 as well. So we need to sort of make those, like we need to guard against that.
Right. But we already did that.
We already
So we've landed it. Basically, it's there. It's got the guards. It should be guarded against NAPI 5, right? So that if we look at the so it's basically saying as long as NAPI
greater
version
than 4,
greater than 4. So whatever as versions, 10 doesn't. I don't think 10 the release actually doesn't have it yet. But as when the release goes out, it'll start testing that and should be available. And then similarly for 8 doesn't use it. So.
Okay, that's good.
So on this one, so this one is.
Yeah, you can check.
I can check that guy.
Yeah.
The only question: should we leave this open until there's actually a release? Possibly, because things could be backed out, or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, exactly.
we'll leave it till there's a release. So okay. Actually, maybe I will just say everything's landed. Everything is landed. Just waiting on a December minor release of n.x to go out, right? I'm good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, do we need additional async worker variants? So this one, Legendicast has submitted a PR.
Yeah.
And I've done a little bit of work, and so has Nick in terms of reviewing. I think I had a few questions on Friday. It looks like there's been some more pushes, so I guess back and forth, and hopefully we'll get that closed. Okay. The workshop.
Michael, we have another participant.
Oh, thanks for letting me know. Let me find the participants and attendees. Promote. Okay, Juan's here. Good.
Oh, I just started to work on the slides. I hope to finish this week. So and I will share the link privately by mail.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. And Jim,
I'm continuing to work on the tutorials. My objective is to have those done by the end of October.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
It's in progress.
Great. Okay.
Gabriel, I'm preparing the slides, and I want to add something about context awareness. If you have some to suggest me, please send me an email, or maybe add a comment to the issue, because I know that you worked a lot on this thing.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Basically, well, can you just like which issue are you talking about? Because I'd be happy to help. I just don't know where to put my stuff.
Workshop.
Okay.
On the okay. I created a new slide based on the last content.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Last week we decided to add something about this new new thing that we did in this year, and if you have some content that please send me, or maybe write on this issue, because yeah, I know that you worked on this stuff.
Okay. Okay. I'm just going through the issue. I'm trying to find the link to the Google Doc. Oh, slides.
Well, I guess that's the old one. So Nicola, maybe it would make sense for you to paste, if you've got a Google Doc for your new version.
Okay. So
if you paste that link in, and then Gabriel can just update that one slide even.
Okay.
Here, will paste link for news. New deck. Gabriel to add slide for context awareness. That sound good?
I want to say that I took the first tutorials, the tutorials located at the top of this issue.
Yep.
And they're actually very good, but I found some typos and some suggestions for changing, and some suggestions to do while the workshop is going on.
Okay. So like the changes, I guess, to the workshops themselves, what's the best way, Jim, for him to submit those or suggest those changes?
Juan, if you can send me an email with your suggestions, I'd be delighted to get those put in.
Sounds good. Okay.
Do you have
And
Jim's email, or
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat.
And then you said you had suggestions for when we carry out the workshop too, right?
Yeah, like there's a part in the workshop like they suggest you to use debugger to see what is actually going on. Will be nice to actually you as a teacher actually connect that debugger and the people can see the entire people and you can actually explain what is going on. I mean,
okay, yeah. So, but maybe you can in this issue here in 367, if you have a list of comments and suggestions like that, why don't you put them in there and then next week we could talk about them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Great.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm not sure if there's anything new on this one in terms of modules using NEPI. Don't see anything new there. Let's go back to here. SQLite port. Jim, I don't know if you have anything new on that one.
I do, actually.
Okay.
A new contributor has stepped up and has taken the work I've done and moved it forward immensely.
Wow, okay.
So, he has gotten it. He's actually worked on eliminating the libuv dependencies and using the NAPI async operations. So
okay,
nice.
I was hoping he would be on this call. He has one issue, and I know I have it in the back of my mind that we've had this before, but he's running into memory allocation issues on Mac OS in Node 8. And I remember, Gabriel, you had it. You came up with an insight as to a specific macOS compile option that we need to use.
Yeah, minus F visibility hidden.
Okay, could you put that in the chat or post a link that, or do you have a resource on that on the web that explains how that works?
Yeah. Basically, you just need to add that to your C flags, your OS 10 specific C flags. Like, so basically, you need to add a condition into your zip file that says, if OS equal Mac, then C flags : minus F visibility equals hidden. That's it.
Now, did we ever document that anywhere, or?
Well, there's actually.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In Node.js API, because in the setup, I think.
So you think?
Setup section.
If I go there.
Yes, here we added a section if you want.
Right, here we go.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So here, I'll paste that into the chat.
Okay, thank you.
We had the same problem on our test. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For async work, if I remember. Well, if I were.
Yeah, this is point number 4 there towards the bottom of
okay.
the.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
No. I was just going to say that this whole thing is sort of winding its way through Node.js as well, because I did submit a PR upstream to have this added by default. But what happened was they backed it out because it was considered a Semver major. And so now for Node.js version 6, they're going to concentrate on Python 3 support, but it's going to be there in 7. So I think Rod, he merged it, or he submitted a PR to have it re-added to the master branch. So this is going to be upstream soonish, but in the meantime, yes, it's documented here.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I will get this to the new contributor, and then I'll continue to work with him. It's I was very excited to see that.
But the thing is, this is only relevant if you have multiple loads of the same binary in the same process. So I'm not 100% sure. Like this is the one that I found, but I'm not 100% sure if this is relevant to you, because you did say memory allocation issues. Right?
Yeah.
This is more of a symbol resolution thing.
I see.
So
I see.
it may help, but if it doesn't, then just, I don't know, just file an issue and just detail what's going on. So I can have a look at it, and anybody else.
Okay,
now,
perfect.
This issue, do we have another issue? Because this one doesn't seem.
Oh, yeah, there's the one. Yeah, I should link. There's an issue on all of the context is on the Node SQLite 3 issue, but it should be linked to this one. I'm surprised.
Right. Yeah. So maybe. So Jim.
So I'll put a link in.
Working on this for a while. We'll add link to activity in the SQLite repo, is it?
Yes, Node SQLite 3.
Node SQLite.
Is it not that link at the top?
Oh yeah, it's at the very top.
This one? Okay. I think just, well, let's just say C for current state. Okay.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you come to it, it's like, wait a second.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
I know you've been doing a lot of work on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, so that makes sense. And so you've got stuff there, and then so we got another person who's starting to hear. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good news there.
Good news. Yeah. The more people we can get involved in helping out, the better. Okay. The next ones are just our burning down list of issues raised by module owners and list of issues in the Node repo. Anything that people think we should talk about this week?
I finished the PR for the copy constructor for thread safe function. I did see that you made that comment about putting a comment in the code regarding that it's testing number 546.
Right. I was like, okay, I think this is where it's being tested.
Right. Okay. So I can add that comment and then make that commit.
Yeah, because I assume that that's sort of like this is basically creating a copy by having bit being passed by, and that's what we want to test because we just added that stuff. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. You did say that there was, it's probably worth mentioning, you said there was still an issue though around
the ambiguity with the constructors or the methods for new. Yes, and it's because if you try to pass a function pointer and it doesn't know that that's a function because I'm not sure why. But I mean, it makes sense logically, but I'm not sure how to get around it is the thing.
Right. And I guess the other thing is, have we gotten around it with any of the others? Or is it simply that there is this potential ambiguity in some cases and you've got to, when you call it, basically you worked around it by telling it what the type is, right?
Yes, either I had to create a function out of it, like an std function, standard function out of it. Like I wasn't able to actually pass it as the pointer, like a function pointer. I had to create a std function off of my pointer.
Right, so that it would know it was the right kind of pointer.
Right.
That's not in, it's not because we're adding new signatures, or is it because we're adding the new signatures that it becomes?
It's existed. It's existed like that. Okay. I guess because we didn't have proper tests that check all 13, 14, whatever it is, new constructors. So Now it just popped up as I was testing the copy constructor.
So I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts or remembers us doing anything special on that front. I can't really remember.
No, nor I. I can't remember either. And is this, Kevin, is this one of those things that only pops up if you use it? Like, it doesn't prevent you from actually using any other parts of the library, right? So
Correct.
So only if you call the function, then it's ambiguous, right?
Correct.
And okay, and is there a way to call it that makes it not ambiguous? So while it is less convenient to call because you have to specify a parameter explicitly, it is possible. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, well, then I guess the only thing we're sacrificing is convenience here, right? So, I mean, I don't know if that's a showstopper then, right? So we still have the overrides. It's just that you cannot use them as intuitively as you might think you could.
Yeah,
it's not ideal, but at least we have them, right?
I guess is there another issue where that's captured in, or?
Yes. It was someone made an issue doc for the optional function callback.
Okay.
And then we were discussing that, and then we were like, well, that would make, exponential explosion of the constructors. Yeah. And then as I was creating the copy constructor, I figured since this issue talks about the new constructors, I might as well add this ambiguity to it and sort of highlight all of the issues there in that single one.
Okay, but I'm thinking more, should we split it out of that issue then, or like, I guess that other issue would stay open?
Well, if we're deciding that we're not necessarily going to tackle it because we're okay with the acceptance of either you have to pass a function or explicitly state which call you're making. Like, if we're stating that's okay, then I guess it's not an issue.
I was more like, I don't think we're hearing anybody say it's an issue we have to worry about, but it might still be something where, like, we could have an issue open that says, improve the usability.
Gotcha.
Here it is. And if somebody has the cycles and brain power to figure out how to do that, we'd probably also be happy.
Okay, yeah. Sure. So then I'll do that. I'll create the new issue for it.
So yeah, so that's we get a new one that way. Like, if anybody has the time, then we improve. Otherwise, we just say it's not something we're going to work about right away.
Okay.
Okay. Any other ones people want to highlight or discuss?
I would like to request a review on the PR that I have in core that caused finalizers for references on worker exit, because it's pretty much as stable as it's ever going to be. Let me give you a number there. I have so many. Oh, here we go. 28,428. So I've been working from this person from Oracle who originally identified the memory leak with the references, and that code has been useful in shaking down this particular change as well, and it works now. And he has.
Sorry, which number was it again? It was
28,428.
Oh, 28. Wow, we're 1,000 ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, in core. So basically, I managed to get it to the point where it is very, very cheap to track the references, because I just use a linked list to track all the references, strong, weak, and otherwise.
Okay.
And so, insertion is constant time, removal is constant time. And the only time that you have to traverse the list is when the environment is exiting, and then you go over. Well, the improvement that I made based on testing with his code was that there are actually two lists. There's one that has references which have finalizers, that is, the finalizer function pointer is non-null, and then there are all the other references. Basically, the insight I gained from doing the testing, and this was sort of the final touch on the PR, was that that you have to run you have to delete those references first, which have finalizers, because that means that inside their respective add-ons they may have stored references themselves, and so they will delete those. Whereas if you just store them randomly, you may end up deleting a reference which is also being kept inside an add-on, and then when the add-on tries to delete it, that's a double free. So on the other hand, if you've called all the references that have finalizers, the other ones don't. So there is no chance that any code inside the add-on will run if you delete those references last. So this was the insight, and this is the final touch, and it works, and it's efficient. We no longer need to worry about restricting this to worker threads because it's so efficient. It doesn't matter if we run it on the main thread, because you're not paying almost any penalty. Like, the penalty you're paying cannot be proven to a statistical significance, basically. And I added a benchmark to test just that. And the benchmark was terrible before, when I was attaching like an env cleanup callback for every reference. It was slowing down the finalizers by like 40%, and so yeah, that was with strong statistical significance, and so now it's gone down into basically the noise. So
now you only attach one if sorry, what's the main difference between
the main difference between what we have on master and what we have in this PR is that now references are members of a linked list. That's it. So
yeah, no, I meant between the 40% bad, worse, and not bad at all.
The difference is that when you delete a reference by hand, one no longer has to detach what do you call that, an environment cleanup hook. The environment cleanup hook is stored in like a I don't know, a set, I think, or some kind of data structure, and so removing it is very expensive because it's being tested for uniqueness and that kind of thing. Whereas a simple linked list is a simple linked list, so there's no real overhead in removing an element from a linked list, and so there is only one environment cleanup hook, and that is basically the one responsible for deleting the nappy end. So we walk this linked list during the nappy env destructor. So it's as simple and as intuitive as it can be made.
Now, I was just looking at this thing, the technically consider this a breaking change.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, that's arguable, I think, because you know, if you create a reference and you give it the finalizer, then you expect that finalizer to be called. It may be called at any given time. I mean, that's the point of a reference, right? You cannot control the garbage collector.
Right.
And so the only change here is that now it will certainly be called. It will never go without ever being called. That's the only difference. And you should be expecting the call. And the environment is still perfectly viable during the time that the call is made, because it's at the beginning of environment teardown. So the environment is still there. It's just on its way out. So as far as I know, a distinction need not be made between a call caused by environment teardown and a call caused by the garbage collector.
No, you shouldn't be able to tell.
And I also have support from TC39 on this, and I changed the commit message to include a reference to the comment in the TC39 repo, because I had raised this issue with TC39 as to whether the engine itself could take care of this, because after all, the engine maintains a list of these references as well. So I'm kind of duplicating work here, but there were various points raised about interactions that can happen during environment exit that would cause all kinds of invalid situations. And so basically the conclusion was that it should not be left up to the garbage collector to make one final pass to delete everything before the environment goes down. However, it can be left up to the implementer of the environment to actually perform this teardown, and that was the final word. Like, yes, Node.js can definitely do this. And so I was like, okay, well, if it can do it, then here we are doing it.
Yep.
So that's basically the skinny on the discussion around the PR. So I don't see a reason why this should not go in. And it's kind of been under the radar, and I'm trying to raise awareness of it so that we can get a decision one way or the other.
Yep, got it. Yeah, I did see that review wanted. I just ran out of time on Friday before. Well, I saw it on Friday, even though you did. But yeah, I'll add that to my list, and anybody else who has time, we should get that one landed.
Yeah. So the other thing in the main repo is the detached buffer, or sorry, detached array buffer. I reviewed it, and who was it who submitted it? I think.
Might be Lynch and Cass.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. No, this is, oh, for crying out loud. I always open it and I always lose track of it. Oh, here we go. Yes, it was. So basically, and I saw you commented as well about the not throwing if avoidable. Yep. And so another issue was open to discuss the statuses. I need to look into that further, but it sounds like it might be good now. Good to go. I still need to give it another review and withdraw my objection, and then it should be okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, no, that was a good catch. And I looked at it and said, well, hey, the exceptions are not consistent with other places. And then you're like, well, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we're not being consistent.
Yeah, I kind of blame myself for not keeping a closer eye on the stuff that went in, because throwing an exception should never be the way to go. Originally, we had intended to always just return a status and leave it up to the add-on to throw an exception or not. But some stuff has slipped in now, and it is what it is. So yeah, it's still kind of consistent in the sense that you know that it's going to throw. So you can still catch it and then rethrow it or not. But it's a lot less convenient than if it had just returned a status. But
right.
Well,
should we be looking at like new methods that do that instead?
That do what instead?
Well, basically return, we can't necessarily change the methods that they're throwing now, but we could have a new method, which is like, okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah, one that doesn't throw. Yeah, right. Yeah, like an alternative. That I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be a big problem. Because the thing is, it is the error case, right?
Sure.
And so it'll work most of the time, right? So it's not so bad, but I guess for consistency and for any other some minor additions we make, we should really make sure that they don't introduce additional exceptions, but rather introduce additional statuses if possible.
Yep, absolutely. So okay.
That's the lesson I learned for myself from this detached array buffer PR, is that we should focus on adding statuses, because that's some minor. So we've set up the system so that adding statuses is some minor. So we can lean on that. Yeah, I think that's it as far as I know in the main repo.
Okay, any others from anybody else? If not, I guess I'll just comment like this create matrix of tested methods. For anybody who wasn't here last week, we did talk about and submitted a proposal for the code and learn, which would be a focus on filling in that matrix of tests. So we'll see if people resonate with that or not, but we thought that was a good concrete thing that we could do in a code and learn. Basically, like, here's how to write a test, and then here, help us fill in a bunch of them. So.
Oh, great idea. Great idea.
Okay. Actually, here's another, so sorry, maybe maybe we did have the issue.
I completely lost this one, Michael.
Yeah, okay.
Not uncommon these days. So.
Yeah. No, me too. So maybe it's like.
Assign this one to me.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
And we can probably get rid of the other one.
Add the 386. Okay.
Say that, and then 386. Let's just say is. Because it's got some info in it now. I was going to say, I think we can say duplicate of 384, right?
Yeah.
And And then in 386. Oh, no, 384. Some additional. Okay. Not sure why that ended up at the end though. Oops. Nope. Unless, okay, hold on. Issues. Sorry. Right. Now I'm going to go back to, because we looked here, we looked at issues, we looked at milestones. Okay, these are not, they're in reverse order. That's why, I guess. Proposed code and learn session for Node and, okay, so we did that and add to core documentation, which is, right, this one can be closed then. Okay, any other things we want to talk about? If not, thanks everybody for attending. Great meeting, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.